Start this podcast, Charles.
Let's do this.
You got to count it off like a rock star.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh, I usually say zebra.
Or
I like
giraffe.
to say zebra.
When the kids go to sleep, dreams and
I love Sabrina's voice.
He's
I
good.
know, I love her.
When the kids go to sleep.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. Shay is drinking his juice.
I always
Chug.
get disappointed when my mud juice is gone.
I was going to start the introduction, but then I realized how much you love it, so I'm like, okay.
Sir, you
I'll wait
dropped
for Shay.
Welcome to the podcast, episode 91 of WTKGTS. Today we have the CTFXE Nation on. It is 12/17-12. Is it?
Is
17?
Well, not when this goes up.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
But right now it is.
12/12/12 just happened the other day. That's not
So
going to
wait.
happen ever again.
This podcast will probably go up after the world's ended.
Oh.
So this
Oh.
podcast will go up.
Wow.
So we can say what
Darn
we
it.
want, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll just reveal all our deepest, darkest secrets right now.
Well, my real
Are you
name isn't
ready?
Charles.
That's a good point, actually. I feel like a lot of people have said, is your real last name Trippy?
Right, yeah, because everyone has a fake name and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But
yeah.
his real name
Yeah.
is Charles Trippy.
Which has always blown my mind because then Allie's is Allie Speed.
Allie Speed, yeah.
I'm like, that's so cool.
You
Yeah.
guys are druggies.
Yeah. Speed Trippy
Trippy
Wedding.
Speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Speed Trippy. Yeah,
That's
right.
really
She
cool.
should have hyphenated.
You could have been on that Jay Leno's bit. They have a bit where they have like
Oh,
really
the-
funny
yeah,
last names.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, because she wants to be a teacher eventually, and like I told her to hyphenate it so it'd be Speed Trippy. It's just so it'd just be like the most ridiculous name in the world. And
That would be.
she like high school
Speed
teacher would probably be the best teacher.
Or would it
in
be
the
better if
world.
it was Trippy Speed? Like, dude, this speed is trippy.
Oh
It's
yeah,
Trippy
because that one.
Speed.
Yeah, that's true.
That's some trippy
That's
speed,
some, that's
bro.
some trippy
Stop
stuff.
with the drug talk.
The drug talk. Can you stop with the
Nope.
smoking?
Sorry.
Mommy Tart has emphysema. Emphysema is not a joking matter. All right, welcome back to the podcast. Right here at Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California. We are here with Charles Trippy the Third.
The third.
We are just asking him.
Who's clapping?
It's the live studio audience.
How are they doing
They
that?
all came out here to see you. They're all wearing your shirts. Which, by the way, I am wearing.
You
One
are.
of Charles'
I wanted to wear one of
shirts
your
today.
shirts.
I'm wearing my own shirt. I guess I'm selfish.
You're so selfish.
Yeah, that's actually.
I
Buy my
love this
shirt.
shirt, dude. When you first came out with this shirt, I bought one right away because I loved it.
Yeah.
He's
And,
owned two, I think.
I've
Yeah.
owned like 4 of these because I bought one and then you gave me a couple.
Yeah, when you guys came out for the
Well, they
wedding.
just they get worn out fast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wore
wears them
this
all the
in
time.
my Eenie Meenie. Did you film that one, Blake? The Eenie Meenie bikini with Ron. I wore this one in that. Check that video out. I wore this just in YouTubers React. Did you see that?
Yes.
I wore that
I
because
did
I was
see
like,
that.
this is a perfect internet shirt to wear.
Yeah, yeah.
Rafflecopter. Internet killed television.
We wanted to make it so it would make sense for anybody who didn't even like watch us, and then we just kind of threw it in there. Just
I
as
love.
far as, like,
I think it's good to have the internet killed television right there on the bottom. But there's so many like old people or like
Old people.
I don't. Does that sound weird? Like adults? Are we not?
we're
adults?
getting old there. We're getting
People will
old.
be like, what is Raffle helicopter? And I'm like, it's like this internet thing.
do you sometimes forget that you're an adult too?
Yeah. Well, if,
Like, does that happen to you?
We're
Like,
not
totally,
adults.
Yeah.
totally. I know what you mean,
We're
but
not.
it's
Yeah.
like I'm 32, and then I think when I was a kid, a 32-year-old person was like
Old.
yeah.
Ew.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel old
No.
at all. I don't feel like what I thought a 32-year-old man
Would
would
feel
feel
like.
like.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like
true.
I imagine my dad when I was a kid. My dad was 32 years old, and like I don't feel that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I
you know?
feel like we stop aging at 25 mentally.
I like it. I like it.
Speak for yourself.
No, I mean, I like you learn more, but you don't feel like
I stopped at
you don't
17.
feel like an old person.
Yeah,
you
I know
what
what
I mean?
you're saying.
Yeah.
Like-
I hope when I'm 80, I still feel like this.
That's a good question. Like, because
Yeah.
I feel like by then I'll be like, yeah, I'm definitely an old dude. My balls are all saggy, you know. Like,
Oh, that's gross.
Oh,
So, Charles, are your balls-
We've turned around now.
speaking of balls, when are you gonna have kids? Let's just
Great
jump right
segue. Great segue. But I
I
really
like
do
it.
want to
That was
know.
a funny one, huh, Ricky? That was funny, huh? Okay.
Honey, it's not funny if you say that it's
Oh,
funny.
I forgot that rule. Dang it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have any. Maybe in the next year or two or something like that. I think is what we kind of were thinking of. Just being on the road and stuff. we have the kind of with the band. We have kind of like the talk on who's going to be the first one that's going to bring a kid on the bus. So we always have that talk, and the cool thing is, like, if we did have a kid, like, nobody in the band's like, oh no, we can't have kids on the bus and stuff like that. So that's a very like a welcoming thing, you know. I don't know. I mean, I'm
stealing your water, by the way. Sorry.
Excuse me, sir.
Does Allie?
Sir?
Does Allie want to have kids? Is she ready?
She's like on the same page. She wants to have kids. Yeah, we're on the same page about like next year or two.
Yeah, last time I talked to her about it, I think it was on the Mom's View, and she was on.
Yeah.
She said, "Well, you kind of have to be home to make a baby."
Yeah. I'm never
you've just
home.
been so, traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
On tour. So
Here's some real talk for your faces though, real quick.
Okay.
You say a year or two from now.
Yeah.
I feel like you're only going to be busier in a year or two.
Yeah, that's a good point.
With your band and stuff.
Or
feel
just
like,
in YouTube in general.
I mean,
like,
YouTube,
it's just, like,
your
life.
band, everything that's going. So that's the question. Like, I really genuinely feel like your band's going to get bigger. You're going to be on more tours. I mean, you guys are already touring the world. Like, there's going to be more and more stuff. So that's the question. Are you going to still have kids at that point? Because you're not going to be able, if you say like, well, in a year or two when things slow down, we'll have a kid. Because it's not going to slow down. It's not going to slow down.
It's a very good point. I mean, like, that's just like... I don't know. Like, it's a very good question.
There's no pressure. If you don't want to have kids, if you don't have kids, just...
It's one of those things where it's like, to be honest, like, when I'm around you guys and I'm around your kids and stuff, and like see how, like, awesome and, like, the personalities that they have, and I'm just like, they're like little human. They're little humans. Like, you know what I mean? That's what they are. They're little humans.
I know that feeling. You look at them and you're like, look at you. You're real, but you're tiny.
But I love kids because they're just like drunk little humans. You know what I mean? Like, they're just
And who
awesome.
doesn't love to hang out with a bunch of little drunk little people?
It's so like, I don't know. It just every time I'm around them, I'm always just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, like we were just with Princess Tard making that face when I was talking to her. I was just like, that's something I do all the time. You know what I mean? I relate to that, and I don't know. It's I'm sure it'll happen soon and stuff like that.
I mean, no rush or anything.
No, we're not rushing. It's just like one of those things. Is like, I don't think we're gonna ever like just plan it. You know what I mean? I think it'll just be one of those things where it's
you'll know when you're ready.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, you know how there's people that you're like, that probably wouldn't be good parents. Like, you're somebody that would be an awesome dad.
That's something that's terrifying too to me. Like, because you guys are professionals. Like, you guys are professional parents.
So good at it.
Well, you're very good at it, or you're good at faking it. But you guys are really awe-inspiring when I see you guys as far as parents. And like, I don't know what I'm like. I sometimes feel awkward around kids because I don't want to do something wrong. But I feel like you have to make those mistakes, and I'm sure you guys have obviously done those things, and you learn.
That's interesting because I always felt awkward around kids.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't like a big babysitter. I didn't like it. I remember the first time my mom was like, "Oh, you need a babysitter? Yeah, Colette can do it." I'm like, "No, what are you doing?" And I was terrified. But once you have your own kids and you just realize that it's like, you know what, we're in this together, and I'm not a perfect parent because I don't even know how to parent, but
right.
But here we go.
I just feel like you're such
as long as you have love, kids can. I mean, they grow up in all sorts of situations. But as long as there's love,
that's true.
Then
I feel like a laughing family.
My policy is like, I don't treat them like they're kids. I just treat them like they're just like.
I have noticed that with you guys. Like, you talk to them like.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a very crucial thing with kids too. Like, I really don't like it when they're like, oh, you want a cookie? Like, I do that to my dogs because I know my dogs aren't going, like, one, they're probably not understanding. They're just understanding the inflections of my voice.
Yeah.
But, like, when I have a kid, like, I want to just talk to them. And, like, I would feel like I would want to reason with them. Like, if they're crying, I'm like, all right, so why are you crying?
Totally. Like that's what I want.
Crying?
Like, listen, we are in front of all these people. They're all looking at you, and you're screaming like
why
you're
are
like
you doing that?
a ridiculous person right now. I don't care if you're 4. Stop it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, because as a kid, I respected that when, it wasn't like, adults are talking to you, and then it was like, then they had their conversations.
Their voice. You felt like two different people.
Right. I'm like, well, what is this? So, like, I remember as a kid thinking, like, I don't like that. So I just remember having kids. I'm like, I'm just going to talk to them like they're just people. Like, they're just normal people and not, and you obviously adjust what you talk about in front of your kids. You don't talk about saggy ball sacks and stuff like that. Stop it,
for
Shane!
sometimes, I'm sure you have mentioned that.
But, like, when our kids get older and they start having those questions about sex and stuff, I'm not gonna like dance around the issue.
You're like,
Just be straight up.
I'm gonna be like, dude, Suntar.
when
the birds and the bees.
Yeah, there's no. I'm like, yeah, that girl has a nice butt, and I know you're staring at her butt because it's just natural. And I just want to talk to him about it.
Well, it's interesting because Princess Tard, she's like, Mom, where do babies come from? So I tell her, I'm like, well, that grows in the mom's belly, and she's like, how does it get out? And I tell her, and she does not want to have a baby now.
That's Princess Tard's new policy.
Cool. Like,
She's never going to get married because she never wants to have a baby.
She never wants to have a baby because it will hurt.
Well, imagine like a 7-year-old thinking about rock tard coming out of there, and it's like, I don't want that.
But of course, I think that just opens, it plants a seed, it opens the door to understanding what it really is about.
Right.
Like, of course, she's just going to think of how awful that sounds and how painful it would be. But when I talk to her about how wonderful it is for me and how the feelings I have, and she's like, oh, okay, it just brings a new perspective. But if you try to hide it,
right,
there's a stork that brings the baby, then eventually when they figure it out, they're gonna be like, what, you lied to me.
It's like a skewed sense of reality and stuff like that when you're not completely honest. I agree.
So did you ever have the birds and the bees talk? Did your parents get it too?
I don't think I did. And I think it was because I don't know necessarily why.
Because neither of us did either. I never remember my parent. I learned it from, honestly, it's still stereotypical, but in the locker room, in 7th grade, in the locker room, that's where I learned about it.
It's a great place to
health
learn
class
things.
and stuff like that. I think a lot of we were the generation where public schooling, parents just relied on public schooling to tell us.
Totally.
And then I think they realized, oh wait, that's not working. So now parents are oh, we should probably talk to them again.
I mean, I've had a few talks with Suntar. I haven't gone into the details of this is how sex works. This is how it happens. This is this is the whole ins and outs of it. No pun intended. But
do we have a rim shot on that one?
But I am gonna have I don't know what the right age is, and it'll differ with each child.
I think
according to their maturity level, and obviously mine is way down. But
we'll work on that.
I'm gonna have
25. You had yours, right?
I still haven't had the birds. Colette still is explaining it to me.
I'm still working with him, guys.
But I'm gonna have that very open, honest discussion. I remember this might be I don't know how we got on this topic, but I remember I
don't either, but it's here, so let's roll.
The kids are asleep, so it's okay.
This is an adult podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But I remember as a young kid getting a boner in the shower and being I remember thinking this is gonna be embarrassing when I get married and my wife sees this.
It's so embarrassing.
I used to think that when I was in the shower. I would think this is gonna be so embarrassing when I get married and I'm naked in front of my wife and she sees what is this?
What is this?
It's funny you say that. I feel like it's so awkward to be in that stage and just being a dude because of realizing what's going on. You're in school and
I'm so glad I'm not a dude.
Or when it happens in class.
In class, and you're wearing basketball shorts or something.
I did not ask for this. Why is this happening? I remember specifically I was in class and the teacher asked me to come up to the board.
It's happened to everybody.
I cannot get up from my desk right now.
You say you don't know the answer.
Yeah,
I'm taking an F.
I have a sprained ankle. I can't come to the chalkboard.
That's happened to everybody. Every single.
Is awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
Ladies,
how did we get talking to? Oh my heck, this
You're
is true.
the one who brought it up.
It's truth though.
All
the guys out there are just kind of oh my god,
what we're talking about.
I'm not alone.
By the way, is the new Project for Awesome video at 9,000 comments yet?
Segue. Nope, that was a non-existent one right there. Sorry.
Non sequiturs. Okay, so we talked about babies. You do really have 2 babies already.
Yeah, I got dogs. I mean, we treat them like I'm always with them and stuff. So.
I think it's something that's definitely because where you're at right now, Allie would have to take a huge role, in taking care of. So
yeah, she would definitely. I mean, I feel like, if in fact we had a kid, I'd probably, get our own tour bus and kind of pull a Foo Fighters and have a kid bus or something like that.
My kids will come hang out on your kid tour bus.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of nice to do it now because they're not going to be in school for, 5 years.
That's a good point too. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like there's ever a perfect time. I think it's just
there never is. You're never going to feel you know what? It is time to have a baby.
Did you guys you didn't plan it, right?
Our planning is when we both feel kind of that might be nice.
Casey.
And we just go for it.
Casey's watching. He just said something inappropriate.
Casey.
You guys don't get to hear.
Yes.
I'm going to veto this talking about inappropriate things on the podcast.
Good thing this table's here.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything.
Moving on.
One regret I have is that Malachi never got to meet Zoe and Marley.
I know
That would've
that
been
was a
cool.
huge bummer. I feel like every time I take them to the dog park, they really gravitate to Great Danes and stuff like that because they're just so like.
Yeah.
And Marley, this being so small, when she like sniffs the butts of those dogs, it's just like she's like
Perfect
up,
level.
like one of these kind of like balance
Yeah.
acts. That was I wish that would have happened. That would have been amazing.
Well, they'll get to meet the next two.
Yeah, that. Oh, there we go.
Hopefully, if I get what I want for Christmas.
Not for Christmas. I'm telling in like 6 months or something.
Don't let me down, babe.
I am just gonna tell you right now, you're
let me
not
down.
getting any for Christmas.
Any
I'm
dogs?
just telling
or-
you. Any dogs.
Okay.
Okay, I'll back up.
Okay. So, what else? What else in your life?
Did you have something in your mind you were gonna say?
Who's your favorite YouTuber?
Me.
You can't say Shay. Shay Gardens. Who do you love? Like, whose videos do you like? Every time you watch, you're like, I love that.
I go all over the place with YouTube. I mean, I watch everybody that I've been friends with forever, and then like new people and stuff like that. But I like a lot of like. It's hard to find like new people now because of the whole YouTube. But like I used to love just going on the browse page and just finding new people that I've never seen and just kind of. I mean, because that's how we all started. Like that's how you started.
Right.
Like somebody found you.
Yep.
And pushed you and stuff like that, and I that's been my like always favorite thing. But I don't know, Daily Grace. I've been watching her. She cracks me up a
She's
lot. and stuff
hilarious.
like
It's
that,
hard to
yeah.
pick a favorite YouTuber. I hate that question because it's like, ugh, like who do you say? Like there's because a majority of them are close friends.
Friends, yeah.
I mean, we say that like, oh, there are friends on YouTube, but you're
It's
right.
weird.
Like they're like I have like maybe 2, maybe 3 people that were good friends of mine in high school that I still communicate
Right.
with. My internet friends are my friends.
Right.
Right.
And it's become a very real thing where it's like your online friends are your real friends. And
Yeah,
over
I
the
agree.
last 5 years that we've all known each other,
got really close,
we've
yeah.
all been in like huge events and life-changing moments and just
Do you think part of that is because you can keep in touch with them so easily? You
Yeah.
just get
that's-
online and watch their life.
well, it's like how you kind of become friends with your coworkers because
Right.
you're
Yeah, that's
you're
a good point.
doing the same thing every day. And that's like what the internet does is it brings people of similar interests together. Like when you're in high school, you're friends with the people that are just in your
Yeah, you're around, you're
geographical
constantly
vicinity.
seeing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They live next to you and they go to your school, so you're almost like forced to be their friends. And you're friends with those people who you closely,
Right.
you have the same likes. But the internet brings, that geographical boundary just expands so much that you can become friends with people who are more specifically interested in those things that you like. And then,
That's true.
like I said, we're kind of like coworkers in a sense.
It's weird because remember like when the internet used to be creepy. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Like
it
you
Still
met
is
her
a little bit,
online.
Well, I mean,
you know.
obviously there's still the creepy people, but like to be considered like you're saying, like the people on the internet that you met, I think it does have a lot to do with like YouTube being such a personal thing, like video
Yeah.
being such a personal
Right.
thing. You can trust people. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Well, I remember the first time that we had like, people that we know from YouTube stay at our house.
Oh,
it was
right,
like
yeah.
my mom and dad were like, you're going to let them stay at your house?
and it wasn't weird at all.
yeah, it's
like, yeah,
because
you know?
you've seen their videos,
Right.
you kind
Yeah.
of see their personality and stuff like
I
that.
feel like it's brought the world together, the internet and all
made it
this.
smaller.
It really has. It has made the world a lot smaller, just with even events like, the Connecticut shooting and like people are
They can come together
in
really
tune.
quickly.
Right.
Yeah, like you can form a little posse of internet people that can go do good.
Right.
Speaking of you guys in the chat, you better get that video to 9,000 comments.
Project for
Or
Awesome.
you're going to be grounded. Charles isn't going to name his first baby after
no,
you.
no babies.
Yes, we're talking
Not gonna
about
have
the
one.
Project for Awesome video. Was it both the Green Brothers?
I'm reading comments from the chat right now. It says, Charles, do you ever get in fights or dislike your in-laws? I don't think you can.
Your
in-laws are, like,
I
the
am
coolest.
such a very lucky person that my in-laws are the coolest people in the world. Like they're my mom and my dad too. You know what I mean? Like we hang out with them so much. I mean, I've been. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's like a little bead.
Drop it.
Sorry,
Concentrate,
ADD moment.
Charles.
But
Well,
yeah,
and like your parents and her parents, they're friends.
they get along. You know, and
Yeah.
it's always that really kind of like cliche, like oh, I hate my mother-in-law. She's coming over. It's like I talk to my mother-in-law as much as I talk to my mom, kind of thing. It's like one of those things, right? Oh yeah, Lauren's coming over. Awesome. Well, let's go out drinking, or
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like let's go party. Like it's just such a cool thing. And then I love it. It's very very fortunate.
Yeah, your mom, dude, all
My
four of your
family,
parents. It was
yeah.
so great. Coming to that wedding was so cool, just
Yeah.
because it was like such a merging of two families.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They just got along so easily, and
which makes it so
so
good.
a nerve-wracking moment, but it was very, very nice.
Right.
Well, I think that gives props to your parents. I mean, both your parents. Like, they're obviously just they're very genuine people.
Right.
And they're not like, they don't have unrealistic expectations of
Yeah.
either one of you. They're just proud of both of you and
Right,
love you.
right.
And that brings
It's like the happiness.
whole
and-
family
yeah,
together.
exactly.
Okay, so
that's
we were
awesome.
talking about in the last episode about.
You ruined my bead.
I know. I was like, I gotta squish your bead.
Now you have to focus.
I need you to concentrate. We were talking about like vlogging every day and how
Yeah.
it gets
Oh, yeah.
frustrating, like getting footage and stuff. And you know, we had this funny conversation once where it's like, I think you were like, do you guys ever get in arguments about? I'm like, yes, we totally get in arguments about
I
that.
remember you guys lit
No, we
up.
never fight.
Like, lit
And
up.
we're like, totally. And we had this like this bonding moment between the four of us, with Charles and Allie and me and Clint. We're like, you guys fight about that too?
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting because, I mean, not like to be unrealistic. I mean, obviously, Allie and I fight, and I'm sure you guys fight and stuff like that. It's just one of the things that we don't include. Personally, we don't include those in the videos because they're pretty dumb fights. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like there's arguments, and when I look back, like you were looking back in your videos and stuff like that, you don't want to remember a day that was like a stupid hour argument. You want to
Yeah.
remember all the
Right.
23 hours that were awesome. You know what I mean?
I think that we do use them though sometimes. Like sometimes we'll mention like, oh, we fought about this, but then we took
yeah.
care of it this way. Like
Right,
when we
yeah.
learn something from it.
yeah.
The last time we fought about footage, because I'm just like, babe, this is our job. We got to get footage. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
She went out to lunch with Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles.
right.
This girl who was in town. And I told her that morning, I'm like, hey, be sure to film when you're at lunch.
Yeah, right,
Because it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
you want to get those
Right.
fun moments. And she didn't. She didn't film it.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
I know.
left the camera in the car, and I was thinking at lunch, I was like, oh my gosh, I left the camera. And then I was like, I felt that moment of like, oh, they probably don't want to be filmed. I probably shouldn't like intrude.
Right.
But
She's
but
a
it's
YouTuber.
funny because whenever
Right.
whenever I do vlog with my friends, like they don't ever care. Like
Right.
they always like
Right.
it. But I still get those little like social insecurities of
You
vlogging
still,
every
yeah,
once
some
in a while.
people, yeah.
don't
And
wanna
it's
stick a
funny
camera in
because
their
when I'm in
face.
public and I'm with people that I don't know, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'll just talk and I'll do the thing to the camera or whatever. But when I'm with people I know, I'm like, is this okay? You guys cool?
Yeah,
Be in
yeah.
my video, you know?
It's funny.
So
I mean, the arguments over footage is just always so funny, and I mean, like, it's something that I think everyone relates to, and
Yeah.
I think it's silly. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And it's not like, that's another thing too that I think we've been asked in the past is people say, well, is it intrusive like having a camera in your face all day long? Really, in a 24-hour period,
10 minutes?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, well, you know, we'll have the camera out 20 or 30 minutes.
Right.
Because our vlogs we were talking about that, Charles and I were talking about this, just as far as YouTube strategy goes, about, you know, will your videos do better if they're shorter? Because so our videos are averaging 15 to 18 minutes.
It's a TV show.
And you're trying to stick to like
Ours were
12
like
minutes.
that, and I brought them down a little bit less just because I feel like with the whole YouTube switching its gears and like people like seeing the cluster that's thrown in front of them now, when they see a longer video, I feel like sometimes they're like, oh, I'll hit watch later and I'll watch
And
it
they-
later.
and they
then
never get
they
to
lose
it,
it
yeah.
because YouTube threw it somewhere else. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, that's a good point because, you know, I know that like the hardcore viewers that like love our videos,
Oh,
like,
they'll watch
they
it, yeah.
want them to be an hour long. But, you know, at the same time as, you know, kind of like a longevity standpoint, as far as trying to like build your audience and being able to continue to do this, you have to get more people watch your videos. Like views matter, you know, as a YouTuber, you know, like you hate to admit it, like you watch views, you see how many views your videos
Right.
get
Yeah.
because that is,
But to be able to do it, you have
that's
to
a
have
measure
the
of your
views.
success.
Yeah.
I mean, and if your views keep going down because you're making hour-long videos and nobody wants to spend an hour every
Figure out,
day,
like,
Especially
why
if you're
it's
doing it
happening,
every
yeah.
day. If you're doing
Yeah.
a video once a week, you know, and you're not, I don't know, like,
there's that fine line between like, you know, what is a good length? Because I remember when we first started, you know,
didn't know.
the rule was 3 minutes. You didn't
Yeah.
have
Oh,
a video
yeah.
longer
That's
than 3
so
minutes.
true.
Yeah.
And then we started doing like 5-minute vlogs. And I remember the first time we did a 10-minute vlog. Remember, you couldn't even upload a video that was
Yeah.
longer
It
than
was
10
10
minutes.
minutes.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, you
That
had
was
to
a rule.
Split it up or
you,
something
yeah,
like
you
that.
couldn't upload a video longer than 10 minutes. And now our videos average like, you know, around 15 to 18 minutes. And that's insane from where we came when I remember when I uploaded a 5-minute vlog, it's like, this is so long.
it's so
Yeah.
long.
I wonder
Yeah.
if people will watch it.
Like a lot of the older ones are
So
like
crazy.
like we thought were long, and like I remember uploading day like 3 or something like that. I was like 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm like, that was a vlog? Like,
Right.
people
Yeah.
were okay with that? Like,
Right, back in the day.
and it was one
yeah.
shot. It was just one
Right.
shot of me scaring Allie, and that was the vlog for the day. And I was like, oh, okay.
So that's something that we think about, like that's something I worry about. Like, man, are our videos too long? Should we try to make them shorter? Because I know that happens, with the new thing that YouTube did where they put the time code on the video thumbnails. I see how it is. Like, there's so much content in your timeline where it's like you see a video and you see a thumbnail and title like, oh, I want to watch that. But then you look, you're like, oh, 17 minutes long.
I feel like they should get rid of that just because, like,
I almost wish they would, because I feel like if people can click on the video and if they were interested in the thumbnail and title, I don't think there's that line going on anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if there's something in the thumbnail and the title, as far as us, it happened in the video.
Right.
So I feel like if somebody will at least click on it, maybe they'll stay entertained the whole time. And I love the comments.
Capture somebody new, maybe.
Yeah, and so I feel like sometimes that time like discourages people.
Yeah.
And I know it's like good to have more information, but I feel like sometimes I wish that wasn't there.
I agree.
So people could click on the video, and then once they get to the video, they're like, oh, this is 17 minutes. I'm not going to watch the whole thing.
Right.
Or maybe they watch it like, whoa, that 17 minutes flew by.
It flew by. Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the biggest compliments I feel like I ever read on vlogs is like, this was 15 minutes long.
Right.
It felt like 2, and I was like, that meant we
I feel like it
entertained them.
discourages
You did a
people
good
from
job.
staying on the site longer too. When you like see all these time codes and you're just like, oh, I gotta go.
You listening, YouTube? You listening? You want people to stay on your site
Come on,
longer?
we got some ideas.
What do you guys think in the chat? I would like to know right now. We have a Blog TV chat. There's 1,800 people in the Blog TV chat with us right now. What do you guys think? Do you like the little time code on the thumbnails, or do you think that should go away?
I bet you a lot of people don't even notice them. I bet you like a lot of users probably don't even notice
It
them.
kind of starts to blend in, I guess, now.
Yeah,
Do people
just-
notice
Like, maybe
that?
we shouldn't have said it. There's no time. Don't
now
even
they're all
look
gonna
for
be
it.
looking. Nothing's there.
Some people are saying I like them. Some people say they don't notice them.
Didn't know. That's
Didn't
my
know.
favorite
Oh,
one. Yeah.
I don't mind. As a creator, the time code is terrible, says the dead feed. Good point.
Yeah.
I think as creators, because as a creator, you don't want anything that will discourage somebody from possibly consuming your content.
Right.
And
for something so silly as
yeah,
that.
like, because like you watch plenty of movies, you're like, I don't want to see this movie. And then you're like, that was a good movie. You know what
They
I
just
mean?
did it with Lincoln.
Yeah, right.
It was like 3 hours long. But
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good movie. So I feel like I know that information is good, and I think viewers like it because they just like to have the information. But I just, as a creator, I wish it wasn't there.
Right.
Right.
I wish that time code wasn't there. Maybe something to
Dear
think about,
YouTube.
YouTube. Because they always listen to everything we say about the
Always.
website. Right, YouTube?
Okay.
I love you guys.
Let's
Oh,
talk about
boy.
that real quick since we've been on YouTube for so long. Me and Charles were talking about the new site changes the other day. Don't like them.
Don't
Well,
Don't
they're
love
just
'em.
gonna change it again.
I know.
Yeah, they will.
That's always been my approach. Every time YouTube changes, I'm like, because I've been there. I have been in San Bruno, California at YouTube headquarters sitting in front of YouTube execs, and they have said, what should we do? And I've been like, this,
And then they
and
do
this,
the
and this,
opposite.
and this. And then the new update comes, and I'm like, they didn't use anything that I
know,
suggested.
You know what's really funny is like,
So I've just been like, whatever. I'm just gonna like figure out the new way that
Right,
it works
that's
and
what
just
you have to do. You
try
have to
to
adapt.
just like adapt. Because if you don't, then
And
you
train.
die. You
Yeah,
adapt
yeah.
or die. You got it, because change happens.
The only thing constant is change.
That's right. So what I think,
I'm so wise.
what I wish YouTube
It's the
would
first
do,
time I've ever heard that.
I wish that when you just were at YouTube, or even in your subscription, as your logged in user, I wish that it defaulted to your subscriptions,
Right.
and I wish they would just maximize that space. I wish there were 4 rows of 4 video thumbnails.
Right.
So what is that? 16? You could get 6 without scrolling or moving at
too
all.
much white. There's too much
Yeah,
white
there's
space.
too much white. If you just go to YouTube, you click on YouTube, you're logged in, all of a sudden you see 16 video options in front of you from your subscriptions. If you're subscribed to 16 people, those 16 new uploads would be all right there. 4 rows of 4 thumbnails. I don't feel like that's intimidating. I feel like there's a lot of space right there. You can see all those thumbnails.
Right, and it's like a book, like you were saying.
Exactly. Like you read across, you know what I mean?
Well, if you guys didn't know, if you guys didn't like the new YouTube, at the bottom right, there's a send feedback thing. My suggestion would be send like constructive criticism. Don't say, "Oh,
This sucks."
This
Yeah,
sucks."
like-
Say
yeah.
like, "If we did this might be better." And if everyone did it, I feel like they might learn. Because
Right.
I was talking to you, and I don't know if you guys are like this. Do you like this new update? I've spent less time on YouTube because I can't find new videos. Like we were talking about this, like what's trending or whatever. Like there's a video from 3 years ago. I'm like, I don't want to see that. I want to see what's happening today.
Yeah, like the suggested videos for some reason are from like a year ago or 2 years ago. It's like, why would that be interesting to me now?
I watch my subscriptions now, and I literally go off the site and I go somewhere else now.
Yeah.
Like I don't spend the hours that I used to spend. Anyways. So it's unfortunate.
Here's another tip. If you don't have a YouTube account, that helps us out a lot. If you are just somebody who comes to YouTube and watches our videos without an account,
we love seeing.
I would highly suggest that you create a YouTube account.
Yeah.
Get a username, join the system, become part of us.
Here's a suggestion.
When
you make a username though, try not to use numbers.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. Try to
make it simple and easy to remember.
Don't be Death Killer X9903 Kitty Cat. Just try to pick something that's simple and easy, and it's like you're related to your name. And get a Gmail and attach it to your YouTube account and leave us comments and like just join the conversation.
We read it. We constantly are using our phone.
You would have no idea how much we are reading comments and tweets. Like we are always involved in your feedback. So anybody in the live chat, anybody watching now, get yourself a YouTube account and join the nation. It's fun.
It's a fun.
I feel like it's a PSA for YouTube in general.
We're like, your new layout sucks, but please subscribe.
please keep using the site.
Well, this has been fun.
I feel like somebody just made that username, by the way.
What? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, what was it? Death.
I can't
remember what it was.
Baseball Lover 43.
People are writing it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Death Kitty 09 Kitty Cat. Yeah.
That's going to be the #1 subscriber.
Go subscribe to that channel. Well, thank you to our good buddy, Charles Trippy, for being here with us. If you don't know who he is, where the H-E double hockey sticks you been? Subscribe to him. His wife
been a long-time friend.
Yes.
Allie's been doing videos.
Allie's been doing
like tutorial videos, but you can follow him on Twitter, on Instagram. We're going to put all of their 800 links below. Go subscribe.
One of those links down there.
There's going to be 800 of them. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. This has been episode 91 of When the Kids Go to Sleep.
Hope you're having a great holiday New Year's season. Oh, yeah. Yep. Goodbye.
Good luck on the 21st, guys.
Don't die. Oh, yeah, this isn't even going up.
Oh, no, okay, never mind.
It's the end of the world already.
Congratulations, you're still alive.
It's fun being in Armageddon with you.